Hey everybody, Michael Flarup here. So I am in the beautiful Maldives and I thought now would be a great time to do a 2018 edition of What's in My Camera Bag. I just got a bunch of new toys, so let's take a look. First of all, I get this question quite a lot. I am still rocking my VANGUARD UPRISE 48-2. It is a nice, big, comfy bag, and it actually used to hold my Phantom 3 Pro drone in here. It doesn't anymore, I'll get to that. There's a bunch of stuff that I'm not showing here. So cables and my computer and my iPad, those things are not that interesting. I've just brought the bag out here on the beach for you guys to see some of the fun stuff in it. We're gonna start small and work our way up. First of all, I got a Hero 6, a GoPro Hero 6 here. And I just got this before the trip and I've been so happy with it actually. I really feel like this is the best incarnation of the GoPro idea. It has no housing on, you just throw it in the water and click once, it starts recording 4K footage. I think it's really good, and the images that are coming out of it is better than ever. So that's a really nice addition for any camera bag. I really highly recommend it. I've had like 3 GoPros before this, and I feel like it's just such a fun part of a kit, particularly when you're on a trip like this where you're spending half of your time in the ocean, right? Really nice little thing. Working our way up, I've got a 360 camera from RICOH, which I sometimes use, and it's a fun little thing. Also one of those small things you just put in your bag. There we go, there's a 360 shot of that. Okay, so this is my Sony RX100 Mark V, and I use this as my tiny little vlogging camera. Each time you see a vlog on my channel, it's usually recorded with this little thing because the screen flips up like that, which I like. And when I'm on trips like this, it's good for those in-the-moment shots. You're going on an airplane or whatever and you don't have your big camera out. Been quite impressed with it. It could use some more image stabilization. I hope that the next edition has some sort of, like, just a little more of that. Images that comes out of it is great. It shoots 4K. Yeah, it's a fun little thing. Actually, I'm gonna turn it on so that we can get a second angle on this shot here. Here we go. Now you can see into my bag. I think I'll put it right here, get that second angle going. Okay, so what else do we got down here? Well, we've got a drone. My MAVIC Air, my new MAVIC Air, which comes in this lovely little container. It's just this small. I mean, come on, look at it. It's so tiny and fun. And I did another video on just that, and you can watch that right here. I'll link it in the description below. But it's a really fun little drone. Yeah, this is basically the package. It comes in this little carry case, and then I got the Fly More combo, and DJI gives away these little bags, which I just put down here basically, and it has all the extra stuff in it. It has the controller, additional batteries, chargers, and it's actually big enough to keep other stuff in here. So I keep a bunch of batteries for the smaller cameras in here. It's really cool. Extra propellers, a bag within a bag. That's the drone. I'll put the drone right here. Boop. I got a little bag for all my additional, more batteries, lots of little cables and stuff. You gotta keep organized in a bag like this, right? So I've got all that stuff in a little bag here. I have got a mouse, the Logitech MX Master. The only real mouse to get these days, because I still do some work when I'm away. The last big thing I got in this bag is actually what's filming this right now. So I'm gonna change cameras in a moment and show you the main camera. But before that, I'm gonna show you some lenses, because I used to be a CANON guy and I have gone full Sony since then, like many others. And so I still have my old Canon glass, my L series glass, and I got my old trusty 24 70mm lens here, which I love and adore, and I've brought it with me around the world. To make that usable on the Sony that I'll show you in a minute, I've got a MetaBones EFE mount converter, which I basically stick on like that onto this thing here, and it goes on the camera. It sort of works. Autofocus a little slower than what you'd like, but I just can't get myself to part with these wonderful lenses here. This one in particular has been through some rough times with me, which shows, right? But it's a really nice focal range, 24 to 70mm L lens, 2.8 aperture. Finally, we have the beast. We have a 70 to 200mm 2.8 L series lens, the zoom lens in the world. It does have, this is the one with image stabilization. Again, you put this MetaBones converter on, and it's huge. It looks like a beast on the smaller Sony body that I'll show you in a minute. But I brought it because, you know what? You rarely get to use zoom lenses like this, simply because it weighs so much and it's so big and cumbersome to bring. But on a trip of a lifetime like this to the Maldives, I thought, why not? I'm gonna bring it. And I have actually used it. Got some wonderful pictures of the sunset with it. What else? I have a 4TB hard drive for all the stuff that all these cameras produce. I've got my iPhone, obviously, in a MOUS.CASE, which is pretty damn drop secure. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take that camera and film that camera and sort of show you that thing, because that is my new, that's the centerpiece of it all. Let me get in the shot real quick here. Now this little baby here is the Sony a7R III, and it is a beast and a beauty. It is an awesome camera. I came from a Sony a7S because mostly I do video. But with the a7R III, the third edition of that camera, I feel like Sony has finally made a camera that is both really good at taking stills, taking wonderful 42 megapixel images, and does proper 4K good video. It has S-Log 3, it has, you know, it does HDR 4K. It is really nice, and the footage out of this thing is easy to grade, and I couldn't be more happy with it. Since forever, I have basically been carrying like a separate camera for shooting images and for shooting video. No more. This is as close as I have seen to getting the whole package, everything in a single body. And I think it does it really well. Now, on top of it, I have a Rode VideoMic Pro. It's one of the microphones that I don't have to actually turn on. I just put it on there and it stays there forever. It has a dead cat on so that I don't get too much wind noise. And underneath it, we have a Gorilla Pod, which I bring everywhere. The lens, Sony G Master, and it's a 16-35mm 2.8 aperture lens. And it's really nice. It is such a good all-round lens. I love the wide angle that I get from this lens. It's great for video. Sony really stepped up their game with the G Master lens series. So that's my entire kit. We've got a big camera, the Sony a7R III, that I use for most of my stuff, both for images and for video. We've got a small drone that's super fun to fly, easy to set up everywhere. Really happy with the MAVIC Air. We've got a medium camera that I can use for those in-the-moment shots. Really quick little thing. Put it in your pocket, bring it along. I got a bunch of heavy old school lenses that I can put on my main camera. We've got the fun little tiny cameras that you can use in the moment. GoPro for the water stuff, the RICOH for the 360 stuff. I'm really happy with the stuff that I've got in here. I feel like I'm covering most bases. It's really versatile. There's a few things that you can pick out if you want to go on a smaller trip and not carry this whole big bag here. But so far, I'm really happy. That is it for me and all my toys. I'll see you guys in the next one.